worldwide, especially with home-based businesses?
It seems to me, what are you, oh, okay, Fred, what do you have your eyes covered for?
Nothing, never mind.
The hand on the head is never a good look, Fred.
You want me to remind you it's time for a commercial, or what?
I would have rather you reminded me to click a certain button earlier, but that's okay, folks.
Okay.
Where we are, and the podcast is good. We know that. So go ahead, Ray. Keep talking.
Oh, this is live. This is real, and that I think is certainly not rehearsed. So I think one of the questions that I'd like to ask is, how do you market your magazine, or how do you market differently to women for a franchise than to men?
That's an interesting question. I don't know if I've quite thought that one through. However, I think you have to reach women where they are. You can reach them in their groups. Social media is a great place to market. We have a great distribution list for email and that kind of thing. But I also think here's an interesting thing in terms of getting interviews and getting in touch with people is picking up the phone and talking to them. People forget they're being interviewed, especially women. When you relate to somebody personally, I've had conversations where we drifted off into kids and goals and what it's like to be a woman in business. And I think making those personal connections is important for women. I think it makes you feel safe talking to someone that you can trust, that they know I'm there to help promote them, tell their story in a positive way. This is not the kind of thing that's out to get anybody. Like traditional journalism would be more, black and white and trying to get something out of it. I'm not trying to do anything but help people tell their stories and market their businesses and be a connector for them. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's something that's important to women. I think it's important to everybody, but I think particularly women to reach them where they are, to message them in their inboxes and say, here's who I am. I mean, it takes a little bit more effort, but I think those personal connections really matter, and I think that those are the kinds of relationships I want to develop in order to grow the magazine.
Mm-hmm. I think, my perspective is that women have a lot more to juggle than men. A man might think, okay, I'm the breadwinner, I gotta go out and make a living. Where I think a woman she's got the whole house, the kids, and her husband, and now she wants to fit in something else, like a franchise. So is that more of a perspective that you've got to deal with, or am I?
No, I think traditionally that is the case, particularly when more women were staying home. I think the dynamic between couples is changing over time. My husband and I, I'm the queen of the calendar. When we had 5 kids at home, I had 6 Google calendars attached to my calendar. I had to know, to the minute where everybody was and where they needed to be, and that was sort of my purview. Yeah. But he and I had to coordinate our time and say who's going to do what, when, and how. And I think that that's a dynamic that is changing probably from around my generation and below, because more women are working, because more women are business owners. So prioritizing who does what and when and communicating, I think, becomes even more important. And with our kids, we don't wait on them hand and foot. I think that dynamic is changing too. They're involved. They're responsible for themselves. They're responsible for telling me who needs what, when, and where they need to be, and that kind of thing. So I think that generationally, those roles are changing, and they're dynamic, and it has to, because more couples have to have double incomes to support the kids. We've got 3 in college, so we've all got to participate and contribute. So I think that. And in terms of my parents, I think that your perspective was very accurate, but I think there is an evolution toward men becoming more involved in the home and women expecting more from them in order to make it all work.
Okay, and on that note, we're gonna thank the Link Local Network for broadcasting our show, remind people that they can or call in at 323-580-5755 and ask questions, or you can chat on the pillarsofranchising.com website or the Link Local Network website. So you can become a member of the Community Voices. You can see on screen the most recent couple of posts from our Community Voice program, as well as my head in the setting sun, because I could do that and it was actually kind of cool. So you gotta watch the video to see how cool that looked.
Hey franchise owners, how's your local marketing? Do you feel like you could use some help keeping up with your social media posts and comments and reviews? Do you wonder if you could be doing more to attract local customers? Are you able to identify new move-ins to your local area? At Westvyne, we help franchisees like you reach more local customers through digital marketing. With daily monitoring, creative content, and ad placement, and customer data intelligence, we'll get your business in front of the people who want your products or services. We also work with franchisors who need an agency to handle the digital marketing for all of their locations. If you're ready to reach more local customers, give us a call at 805-265-5440 or visit us at westvyne.com. That's 805-265-5440 or westvyne.com.
And we're back with our co-host Ray Pillar, Jill Abrahamsen. I'm going to kill that name today no matter what. And our special guest who's put up with a whole lot of crap today, who's the first one on the call. So kudos to you.
I'm always early.
It's this whole week has been like my friend Spiny Norman says a few minutes. Now that we're back here, go ahead, Jill, take it away. You got the next question now.
Well, I want to ask you, I know obviously your husband has Patch Voice, but what franchise opportunities have you seen that spark your interest?
Oh, me?
Like you do yourself?
Well, that's the fun thing about my job, is that I get to talk to some really fun, cool women. I'm totally fascinated by Princess San Diego. She's from the Philippines, and she's got a flan franchise. I mean, what could be more fun than flan, right? I mean, she has 70 different flavors of flan. I think that's kind of cool. And Kristen Horler's baby boot camp, I mean, that's something that she started. She was trying to lose her baby weight. She was trying to find something exciting. She invited her friends, to do workouts in strollers, and they kind of just happened for her in a way that fit into her lifestyle. So I think those are all kind of cool. Challenge Island, she's going to be our cover story this month. Sharon Estroff, she has she was a teacher. She moved into this educational program and franchised it. So she has all kinds of creative ways of learning for kids. So, to me, it's fun to look at anything that is driven by someone's passion. As a writer, I love what I do. I love telling all these people's stories. And every time I talk to someone who's enthusiastic about what they do, I think, oh, I could do that. That would be really fun. I don't actually want to do that, but I like what I'm doing. I'm driven by the story. But meeting those kinds of people with those levels of enthusiasm for what they do, everybody I talk to is so excited. And you talk to them and you think you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And who doesn't want that out of their career?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do you feel like there's, what would be your advice if you wanted to start a franchise? Do you think somebody has to be passionate about it?
I think that's one of the biggest keys is passion. I think, especially from the franchisor's perspective, if you don't have that and your passion is not contagious, you're going to have a hard time getting people to buy into your concept of what you're doing. You're making me laugh in your face. But yes, I think passion, everybody's driven by that. If you hate what you're doing, eventually you're not going to do it anymore. My husband had a corporate job. He was miserable. The people that he was working with were not people you would want to work with. So he's so excited, and he gets up happy to go to work every day, and he loves what he's doing, and he loves the connections and the relationships that he builds when he does estimates and meets with customers, and he likes having his employees feel satisfied. He's got guys who love doing drywall. That's their thing. So to me, that's one of the biggest keys of life, because anybody who hates their job is either not going to do it well or not going to last very long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's percent of corporate America.
The definition of hell is going to work on a job you hate.
Oh, it really is. And we've all had them, and we all can't wait to get rid of them.
And that's why owning a franchise is so great.
M-word got passed earlier without me playing it, so that's kind of a double. Never mind. Go ahead, Ray.
Okay, so you talk to a lot of women, busy women, who are, want to add another something to their plate. What franchises are they seeking that will fit into their schedule?
That sounds like something Jill should have asked.
I think that, depending on your lifestyle, like the Just Between Friends, the pop-up consignment, they do 2 big shows a year. They can work it into their schedules. They're dealing with women that they see every day. The consigners are probably mostly women that they know. So that's something that's very conducive to a work-life balance, being able to do it from home. That's a home-based business. I think a lot of women, and I think it too depends on the ages of your children, but if you have younger children, home-based businesses are very appealing to women, because you can work your schedule around your family. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a big up-and-coming trend. I think it's been a trend for a while. But I think, and like the baby boot camp, she can do that wherever the idea was she could take her kids with her to do it. Mm-hmm. So those kinds of things are ideal for women with children of those ages. I think as you get older, your kids get older, it's a little easier to have something that's away from home. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one. Home-based business is probably the top one for women with younger children, especially.
Most definitely. Mm-hmm.
Jill?
So what's next for the franchise woman? What are we going to see in 2020?
Well, we're doing our second issue in January. We're bi-monthly at this point. As soon as we get our legs under us, I'd like to go to monthly. We've got some columns coming up that we didn't have in the first issue that we're going to have in the second issue. I've got a woman who runs a tax accounting business, so I'm going to have somebody doing tax columns. I've also been talking to the International Franchise Association a lot about doing some stories about policy. They're working in California, where everybody's trying to be deemed an employee. So they've talked about doing some lobbying for that. They've also started a Pride Council through the IFA, which was a big hit when they had their reception. So we're going to do a column featuring some people from that community, just to let everybody know what's going on and what initiatives they're working on for more inclusion of the community. So we're trying to make sure that we cover the gamut of thing. I want to, it's important to me to have a diverse group of women represented in our magazine, because I want everyone to think they can have a piece of the pie. So just more and more content like that. We've got some good old established people whose names are very familiar, but we also have some people who are coming up with new ideas and making sure that we cover and give everybody a voice.
So we've had many people on the show, including the Franchise King. So you're in that nice long line of franchise something or other. Why franchise woman? Why not the business woman? And why just focus on women in franchising?
Right. Well, for one thing, I kind of fell into it with my husband, and learning about franchising. But also, there are business magazines for business women. There are more broad magazines for women. Franchising didn't seem to have a publication focused on just women. And I think because it is accessible, because it's a model that women can be successful at, because it's something that you can fit into your family life, and it's not a corporate job. So many women have taken time off to raise kids and feel like they've lost their upward mobility because now they're being judged for that time off. The skills that you have as a stay-at-home mom. I wrote a resume for a lady one time who was a friend of mine who had not worked since she was 20. But she had raised tens of thousands of dollars for her children's schools. She had been in charge of committee after committee. She had all of these leadership skills, and I made her resume look like she had kicked butt for 20 years. But those skills don't always, they're not valued by the corporate world. And I think in franchising, as long as you come in and you do it, you're good. You have so much more control of your fate. So that kind of a story is appealing to me. The effort you put in matters. You're not being judged necessarily by a corporate boss. So I think the upward mobility, the flexibility, how much you put into it, you're going to get that much out of it. And you're not penalized for some of your life decisions that are not negative, but are viewed that way. So I think there's a special place for franchising and women to talk about those things and to let them know that the opportunities are out there.
I got to agree. Ray?
In your magazine, I see you have some sort of a question and answer section. What are some of the more difficult questions that people, women ask your editors?
Well, actually, we have not had a question and answer section yet, only because we've only had one issue launched, so we kind of had to let people know we were out there.
Oh, sure.
That's something that will come along as we go. But we had to develop a presence. We've had to develop a social media presence. We just sort of came out of nowhere. So making sure people know who we are and starting to get traction, and we're getting traction on social media. We've trended on some LinkedIn, franchising, hashtags, and that kind of thing. So that's something that we're going to look more toward once people really know we're out there.
Yeah, I think that'd be excellent, because there'd be, if you're woman to woman asking some difficult questions that they can't get answered anywhere. I think that'd be an excellent.
Right, and I think eventually, down the road, having a forum or having a podcast or having panels where women can talk about these things to each other and ask questions, I think it's important. And I think more and more that's happening at some of these conventions and things, but I think that's something definitely the franchise women could fill a niche for.
Jill, you get the next one.
Yeah. What do you think is the most surprising thing to you, being somewhat new to franchising? What surprised you most about franchising?
Well, I think the accessibility was surprising. I didn't quite realize what a great option it was, especially for women. But in terms of people, it's been a really welcoming experience, because I am relatively new and people didn't really know who I was. And I was calling up people who'd never heard of me before saying, hey, guess what? I'm a writer. I'm going to do a magazine. I want to put you on my cover, or I want to put you in my magazine. And nobody said no. I have had 0 people say no to me. So the fact that it was clearly a need that should be filled. Every woman I've talked to has been very excited to have this space to fill their voices with. So I think that it's surprising. It was just, and franchising people get marketing. That's one thing that I think I didn't understand. I've worked in agency life. I've done freelance commercial writing. I've done marketing for people, and so many people don't understand the value of marketing. And most of the women that I've talked to who are either contributors or in the franchise business themselves seem to really get it. And it's fun to work with people who understand the importance of having their story told in a magazine, or having their byline as a contributor in a magazine to give them credibility and give them the exposure, that they might not otherwise have. So that kind of thing, it's just been such a fun reception.
Wow. People don't understand marketing.
You sound so shocked. I know it's hard to believe, Fred.
That's what we call being part in the weeds.
Yeah, so much.
Oh, sorry, it's not Tuesday, folks.
No, it's not.
So wait, you're throwing me off. I missed a day.
Because this is Pillars of Franchising.
And it must be Thursday.
Exactly, and that's my granddaughter. I'm going to go see Chicago next week. And spoiler to death. Yeah. So, people don't understand marketing. Whoa. All right, so on that vein, this is a discussion, a marketing discussion I've had several times since I was in Vegas last week, about one of the newer marketing social media platforms. And I just want to get everyone's, except for Ray's, because he's going to say, what the bleep is that? I want to get everyone's opinions on TikTok.
Oh, gosh.
Now, partner Michelle said when first explaining it, when you do it, you got to be prepared to lose a few IQ points. And yeah, but Elizabeth, you first can jump in on your thoughts on TikTok.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you that I have not ever used TikTok. However, I have kids who have. So I have, and here's something really interesting. You know, new platforms are typically introduced to younger generations, I think. Like Instagram, my kids are. The only reason I got on it was because younger people started doing it and I needed to market to them. So I started doing Instagram. You know, I'm of the Facebook generation and Twitter. And TikTok, my 13-year-old knows how to use. But the people and the businesses who latch on to these up-and-coming platforms are the ones who really sell themselves on it. For example, my daughter is about to go work for the Washington Post when she graduates college in May. And she interned for them last summer. They've got an amazing TikTok. They have a guy who's solely devoted to TikTok, and they do some hilarious things. They were showing me all these things that this guy did. I mean, that's not his only job, but he's the dedicated person for TikTok. So I find it interesting that a group like that is embracing this youthful technology because they know those are the kids that are going to come up and need to be sold to. So, you know, I think it's kind of silly, you know, I don't totally get it, but I do understand that as younger people latch on to things, you might as well get in while they're getting in because it's going to become big, like Instagram. You know, now businesses are all over Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd think, but that's okay. Jill, your thoughts on TikTok?
You know, just like Elizabeth, I have kids who are on it, and I have not used it personally, but I've watched my daughter create videos, and she's very proficient at it. It's amazing what you do. It plans out a whole thing, and it comes out beautiful. Like, she's had years of editing courses. There's something she really knows how to work it. But I think, you know, the people who are on it will be the customers of the, you know, in the next few years. So you got to get on those platforms. That's what Gary Vee says.
So I have nothing against Gary Vee. Please do not, any of our listeners or watchers, please do not ascribe to me that I dislike Gary Vee. I've heard much about him recently, and with respect to TikTok, when two national news stories in the last 3 weeks have been about people in TikTok, it kind of makes you go,
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. I've talked to people, older people in marketing, and they don't have a Facebook page or they don't have a website. And I'm like, the thing is, if everybody else is doing it and you're not, you're missing out on that demographic. You're missing out, you know, so you got to do it.
which is why they dragged me into Facebook years ago, kicking me in. I was legendarily only Twitter and LinkedIn, and yet I still got dragged in. Never mind. So we're going to take a station or a commercial break. Want to remind everyone they can dial in at 323-580-5755 or chat on the website or in any of the social media streams, because we can actually watch that now. And now a word from Nick.
Ever wonder how successful business people get educated about franchise business options? The Franchise Consulting Company is a group of over 100 franchise professionals with more than 2,000 years of franchise experience. We help our clients select and investigate franchise companies. And like a realtor, our services are free of charge to you. Our fees are paid by the seller. Reach out to us to learn more and get a free copy of the Franchise MBA, the #1 bestseller and highest reviewed book on Amazon in the franchise category. Our website is thefranchiseconsultingcompany.com, or feel free to call us on 800-321-6072.
Are you thinking about opening a business? Whether you're in transition from a corporate job, looking to generate investment income, add to your existing business, or just too young to retire, come to the Great American Franchise Expo and explore your options. Meet face-to-face with dozens of franchise executives representing dozens of quality brands. A wide range of price points and ownership models are available. Attend our free seminars on accounting, real estate, and marketing. Franchise law experts will be there to answer your questions, and banks are on hand to discuss loans and financing. The first 100 attendees will receive free VR goggles. For free tickets, visit www.franexpousa.com. The Great American Franchise Expo, coming to a city near you in 2019. Check our website for schedules.
And as those of you who are watching on video can see, the next one is February 15th and 16th in 2020 in Dallas at the Irving Convention Center, and in Houston, February 26th and 23rd, 2020 at the Stafford Center. And we're back, and I just want to point out here, this is my copy of the Franchise MBA. You can fill out the form on the Pillars of Franchising website and get this copy, not my copy, but Nick will send you a copy of the Franchise MBA. And as of last week, as Ray will remember, he's promised a VR headset.
Good.
Pretty cool, isn't it? Hey, you want to salute. So, moving right along here. So now we're going to ask, we have somebody who's gone through the buying a franchise process. Did you read the franchise disclosure doc?
I did not. I don't know if my husband read the whole thing or not. I did not read the franchise disclosure document.
Nobody blames you for that, believe me.
I appreciate that, yeah. I've seen it on the bookshelf. It's not something I am driven to read.
The franchise disclosure doc, the greatest cure to insomnia known to mankind.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Jill, we've asked you this before. What are the top 3 things a franchisee should, or potential franchisee should read in the FDD before deciding to read further?
Are you asking me?
Yes, because you're the only franchisor here.
Well, there's the item 19.
Item 19, that's a favorite. Mm-hmm.
I think more than just stuff in the franchise disclosure document, they really need to know if this is something for them. If it fills their passion, if they can see themselves working the business, if their skill set matches what's required to run the business. I think those are more important than, what's in the FDD. I think they really need to see if it's going to work for them as far as their lifestyle and finances go.
I'm down with that. Ray, you got a question?
I do. Where do you see the magazine, Elizabeth? Where do you see the magazine in one at the end of the year, and maybe 3 years and 5 years?
Well, I think by the end of the year, I want to be a monthly publication. Clearly, we had to get an issue started so that we had a product. So we're focused on, getting some marketing and advertising sales and helping people understand how we can help them market. We have to prove ourselves that we are going to produce good content, that we're going to reach a lot of people. And I think the reception has been so good, I'm not worried about that. I've been talking to people that are like, you're going to have to go monthly before the first year is up. And I hope that's true. So I would like to continue to, as a newer person into the industry, learn. I have a lot of great resources to do that with. I want to start going to some events so that I can meet these people face to face. I'm going to meet some people at the Patch Boys conference that Nancy Friedman's going to be there, that's done some writing for the magazine. I'll actually get to meet Jill. And I met Leah, who's the franchisor for the Patch Boys, but we'll get to see him again. So building those relationships in person is important. But beyond that, I think I'd like to reach out to other forms of media in terms of podcasting or video casting. I'd like to have panels with women. There's some other women who are doing similar things to me that I'd like to collaborate with. So I've been talking to a lot of different people, and what that looks like specifically, I'm not quite sure yet. I think it's going to be an evolution, but I think doing some speaking about women in franchising and helping these women tell their stories and find more and better opportunities. I think those are the sorts of things I see going down the road.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Good.
Jill, you got a question?
Let's see. I can't think of one right now. What sets the franchise woman apart?
Well, I think to me, because this was my concept, but I think the concept of it sets it apart. I don't think a lot of business magazines feature fun, fabulous women. So I think recognizing that there should be fun, there should be passion, there should be fierceness. Fierce is a word I like to use a lot, because some of these women are just fiercely passionate, they're fiercely smart, they're fiercely driven. I think I like the word because it's not negative, the way people are using it in the vernacular these days. So I think having defined the elements that I think are important to feature in women, that all women possess to one degree or another, but to be able to pick those things out and say, look at this business model that requires charitable contributions as a part of its business model. That's kind of cool. That's a unique feature that a lot of businesses don't have in Shannon Wilbur. I found her so fascinating that became a part of her business model. So I think that the fact that I'm excited to talk to these women and want to tell their stories, and then the fact that these women have great stories to tell, and we do allow for some fun, but also want to take it seriously and offer useful, helpful advice and tools and contributions from writers. To me, that's the element that a lot of business magazines don't have.
Well, there may not be a lot of business magazines that feature fierce, fun women, but I know one podcast does.
That's right. You need to start putting that in your tagline: fun, fierce women.
Okay, so there's a revamp of the site coming up because we keep expanding our co-hosts. So I think we'll put fierce, fun, female. I need a better word for co-host that begins with F.
We need an F word.
I wasn't going to put it that way. Brain went. That's okay. All right, so we're going to take it down the rabbit hole. And for those of our viewers on the screen, you can see that if you fill out the form on the Pillars of Franchising site, you can actually submit down the rabbit hole questions. So, where should we go today? Do we want to do AI or should we go zombie apocalypse?
It hasn't been zombie in a while,
So, what franchise will be most important in saving the world from the zombie apocalypse, or ending the zombie apocalypse once it starts?
I think it's got to be the Patch Boys, because they can patch all the holes and keep them out.
Wow.
That was the easy one.
You just tossed that softball right at me.
Oh, my game. All right, so we're going to give Ray his last question, but before we do, we're going to give Jill her last question. Put her on the spot here there. She's hoping for the dogs to come running in right now.
So what would you say to somebody buying a franchise? Like, what would your number one advice be?
Well, I think, business-wise, I think doing your due diligence is clearly very important, knowing what you're getting into, knowing what is expected of you, both financially and in performance. But I think that, as we've been talking about the whole time, if you can see yourself getting up and doing this for the next 20 years and not hating it or being bored with it or resenting it or, eventually thinking it's just misery, then that's a good sign. If you get up every day and you think about the possibilities of it, so making sure that your passion and your purpose are aligned, I think, is one of the biggest things to success.
That's great. Sounds like you enjoy what you do every day.
I do. It's a very fun. I get excited to talk to every person I talk to every day. So.
All right, Ray, before we go to the last question, we'll go to the Addison question. That little lady is why I live these days. That's why I've been doing it for 20 years. That's why we're in this path to become this global competition-crushing marketing firm, so I can turn it over her and she can run rampant. So, in order for my granddaughter to be able to run rampant in about 20 years, what advice would you give her on how to be successful?
Okay. I think the last time I was on, I said, be so confident in yourself that nothing disturbs your peace of mind. I think that's always good advice, but also, I have a blog called The Gift of the Struggle, and I write about embracing your reality, because I think a lot of times people fight the negatives. And I think if you embrace the good and the bad, knowing that there's something to be learned from that and something to be gained from that, and not fight so hard against it, but sit in it and feel it and know that you have a gift to give the next person who might be going through something, that's all a part of life, embracing the wholeness of your life, and understanding that even in the low points, it's going to give you something to get to that high point, or give you something to help someone else who's going through it. I think it's really easy to embrace the good stuff, but I think if you learn to embrace the bad things that happen to you, looking for the next lesson from it, it gets you to a place of peace quicker. So that would be my philosophical advice.
So you're saying embrace the suck.
Yes, it's so hard, and I don't always take that advice, but I think it works when you can do it.
But you got to learn something from it, though.
Well, that's the thing. You embrace it so that you can learn from it and then pass it forward.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we've talked about this.
Your time.
We talked about this wonderful magazine, and I can imagine a lot of people are interested in it. How do they subscribe, or how do they submit, a question, or if they want to, or how do they get a hold of you?
The quickest way is to go to thefranchisewoman.com and go to our contact page, and you can ask any question there. We have a subscription box, so you can just enter your email in, and it's in the footer of the page. So through those two methods, it'll come straight to me, and I am a very quick responder. So if you have any great ideas for stories, we'd love to hear those. If you want to market with us so that we can help tell your story, we'd love to hear from you, and certainly everyone should subscribe.
And this information will be available on the Pillars of Franchising webpage. Is that correct, Fred?
Yeah, you always say that, and I always do, and no one's complained it's not there yet, but I don't think anyone's like, oh, yeah, it's all good. Yes, it will be there.
It will be, eventually.
It will be eventually, yeah. I got to beat the guy who's not getting his stuff done. All right. So, folks, I want to thank our Elizabeth Denham and our special female co-host, Jill Abrahamsen. I'm still screwing that up, aren't I?
I think you got it right that time.
Well, we're good. I think I change it all the time.
Okay, good. I knew it. And of course, my co-host, co-founding co-host, Ray Pillar. I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and on January 1st, if you're in the Central Coast of California, come out and meet me on Avila Beach, because I will be there. The last time I wasn't there on January 1st, I had a heart attack that year, so never again. And this is...